All right, let's get an update on Jalen Brunson's health and talk all things Knicks with New York Post Knicks beat reporter Stefan Bondy. Stefan, it's the news that I guess every Knicks fan can kind of breathe a sigh of release with Jalen Brunson only having a knee contusion or knee bruise. Can you give us what you've heard from your sources about his availability for Tuesday night?
Well, it's still questionable. That was the status heading into this game, and that's what it remains. I think we'll find out more when Tom Thibodeau speaks before they play the Hawks. But listen, I think it's like you said, breathe a sigh of relief. That's how you've got to feel about this after watching the original injury in Cleveland. I mean, it looked just from, watching it, observing it from where I was from the press box to be a non-contact injury. And I'm sure everybody, that has followed sports, and especially in New York, understands when there's a non-contact injury, that's very scary. You fear the worst. You fear ligaments being torn. And then, for him to only be diagnosed with a bone contusion, a knee contusion, actually, that's positive news considering where my mind went and where I'm sure a lot of Knicks fans' minds went right after that injury.
Yeah, this team has kind of been banged up within the recent months. And I kind of want to talk to you about that because since none of the injuries to the stars, the Julius Randles, the OGs, are season ending, you think that's kind of helping this squad in the long run because guys are getting some live auditions for more playing time and game-like action rather than practice?
Maybe, but, there are two sides of that. The other side is that they're not building the cohesion that they need necessary with the starting unit and the guys that will be eventually playing a lot of minutes in the playoffs. So, you could look at it two ways. I think I tend to look on the side of it being negative just because when the playoffs come around, Tom Thibodeau is going to probably cut it to an 8-man rotation anyway. Starters are going to be logging heavier minutes. So I think the continuity and the chemistry that would be being developed right now between Julius Randle, OG Anunoby, and Jalen Brunson is more important than developing guys like, Miles McBride, who I think, will have a little bit of a role in the playoffs, just not very much.
I didn't even think of it on that side of things, but when you break it down like that, that does make sense. A lot of guys' playing time is going to get cut in the playoffs. I was kind of Twitter stalking you last night, and Toronto Raptors center Kelly Olynyk agreed on a 2-year, $26.25 million contract extension. You quote tweeted that tweet, and you kind of previewed what the market for Isaiah Hartenstein could look like after that extension. Can you break that down for us?
Sure. Well, first, I'd like to see how exactly that money breaks down for Kelly Olynyk. I know that Woj said it was 2 years, a little bit over $13 million per. Now, if all that's guaranteed for Kelly Olynyk, and I'm Isaiah Hartenstein, I'm looking at it like, all right, well, I'm younger than Kelly Olynyk. I protect the rim better. I rebound better. I'm an overall better player, more valuable to my team. So I'm going to be asking for more than that. And he's going to be a unrestricted free agent in the summer. The Knicks have his early bird rights, which means they can only give him a certain amount. I think it's somewhere in the realm of 16 to 17 million per year without going over the cap. And listen, the Knicks are going to be over the cap. So it's going to be a tricky situation with Isaiah Hartenstein in the summer. The Knicks have already locked up Mitchell Robinson next season. They have him under contract. They also have Jericho Sims. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Isaiah Hartenstein and how they prioritize him in the summer.
Yeah, I'm all about players going to get the bag, but iHeart's been a fan favorite. Like my timeline is just a whole iHeart fan page of people just because the guy comes out there, he plays his ass off, and he gives you good minutes. Another thing, when I read this, I was like, let me ask Stefan about this because Shake Milton, the Knicks has announced that they've signed Shake Milton. Can you kind of tell us what he's going to bring to this banged-up Knicks squad?
Right. I think he's being pitched right now as a depth piece. I mean, listen, he played very well during spurts with the 76ers, specifically during that pandemic season. I think he averaged over 13 points per game. But then he got to the Timberwolves. He signed that deal. I think only 1 year was guaranteed at $5 million, and he never really cracked the rotation. My understanding is, listen, the Timberwolves played really well, and they didn't want to change anything when it was going well, so he just never really got a good shot there. he was sent to the Pistons, and they waived him, and he was looking for an opportunity to play for a team that has a chance, and the Knicks have a chance. Now, I don't think he's going to come in here and start playing big minutes immediately. In fact, I think that when you look at the depth chart, he's going to fall somewhere below Miles McBride and Alec Burks just on the guard depth chart. So he's a depth piece for the Knicks, and he has. I think his strength is in his defensive versatility. He's got a massive wingspan for his height. And I think, he's got, as long as he has his confidence, I think that's a big aspect with him and his jump shooting is his confidence. As long as he has that, I think he can contribute to the Knicks.
My bad, Shake. I wasn't familiar with your game, but welcome to New York, my man. Stefan Bondy, thanks for coming on with us.
All right. Thanks a lot.